I have to tell you that story first to get to this part of the story of why we factor in male, female, young and old last. It's the least important thing, even though it's the first thing that we're all looking at and seeing, is that the next story is Bola is very old and he can't go out anymore, and the king's very anxious. What are we going to do? How are we going to find these horses? And he says to Bola, what about your children? What about, they must have this skill. And he goes, my sons, they can recognize a good horse by inspecting its teeth, measuring its legs, touching its muscles, but they cannot recognize the thousandly horse. Well, what are we going to do? Where is it? And he says, once in my travels, there was a person who had this skill. So the emperor, the king, sends out the people, gets the guy, brings him in there, and he says, your job now is to go find the horses. So this guy goes out, and 6 months later comes back, and the emperor says, did you find any of them? And he says, yes, and blah, 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 they did this. And the king says, well, what color is the horse? And I'm making this part up here. He's brown. Is it male or female? Female. Okay. Sends the people to get the horse. They get the horse. They come back. And it's gray, and it's the opposite sex. The king is livid. He's screaming and yelling. This guy's making a fool of me. We should throw this guy in the jail. Cut off his head. All of these things. And Bola, the old Bola, hears this and says, his skill is so much greater than mine ever was. The king kind of stops and says, what do you mean? He said, he sees the horse so clearly, the heart of the horse so clearly, he doesn't even see its color or sex.